Hi everyone, this is a recording for you guys to create a balance sheet in Excel. We are going to use the sheet that's posted in Google Classroom, which is this balance sheet, and it's going to give us our numbers that we're going to use because we're really not, normally we would go through and create all these numbers for your business, but since we haven't been in school, we haven't been able to do that. So we're just going to use the numbers provided for us on the sheet. But follow along with the video, have this printed out, and then you can, we'll get it done together. All right, so I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to pull up Excel, and I'm going to start working through this assignment sheet. So the first thing it says is that you need a heading with your business name, and your name is owner, and balance sheet as our title as of June 2021. So like you've been in business for 6 months. We'll go back and edit all this in a little bit. The first table of information you're going to make is an assets table, and we're not doing all of the assets that are listed on the sheet. We're just going to do that top portion. So I'm going to pause the video while I type these numbers in. I'm going to do one with you. Cash. You can just see I'm typing in the numbers. I'm not adding dollar signs or anything. I'm going to stop here and let you, after this one, and let you continue typing in. I will just remind you that these two columns need to be next to each other, no skipped columns. Even though this is rolling over into the next column, you're just going to go up between the A and B and double click, and it's going to slide right over for you. And then those are still sitting right next to each other, which is very important. Okay, so I'm going to pause, and when you come back, this whole table. Okay, so as you can see, I finished putting my numbers in. They're just plain old numbers. And I did not put a total here because this is where you're going to want to enter a formula. This is one of the things I'm going to check when I check your work because that's what Excel is for. So do not just straight type that number in. We're going to go up to the auto sum key and click sum. It's going to give us the running ants, and it's going to ask us, is that what we want to add together? And it is. So as long as it is, you just press the enter key. And then now we have our totals, but it doesn't look right because these are not formulated as dollar signs. So we're going to select them and click the dollar sign on the menu up here instead of having to type all those dollar signs in. All right, we're going to format this as a table by selecting everything. And remember that when you select, it's that open white cross. Don't get your crosses confused. All right, and we're going to put a border around it. And then that is our first table of information. That's all we're putting in for assets. We're not doing the rest of that assets table, so don't feel like you have to fill all that in. Next, we're going to go to liabilities, and we're doing the exact same thing over again. So I'm going to pause you once again and come back. So as you can see, I did the same thing here. I entered all my numbers, and I left my total current liabilities open. I'm going to go do my sum. That's the correct thing I want to add together. Press enter, and then I'm going to select and put a dollar sign on it. And then I'm going to put borders around it. Okay, so my last table of information is owner's equity. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I've been doing before. This is an easy one, guys. The next one's going to get a little tougher, the next project. I'm going to go here. I'm going to pause you again, and you'll come back to the magic of numbers. So you can see I made another table of numbers. I'm going to do the exact same thing again. Our numbers are not going to match exactly what's on that sheet, and that's okay. I'm not worried about it. I just want to make sure you're using formulas, that you're putting in the correct numbers so that I can check your formulas for you. And I'm going to put dollar signs on these just to make them look nice. And we're really close to being finished here. I told you this is probably the most simple one. So I'm going to go back up top. I'm going to do, now remember that the numbers and all this information should stay pretty boring. However, we can add some interest to this by changing our background up here. You could put your logo in if you wanted to. I actually don't want to change that. I want to change this. And so then I could change these just to make it nice. And I'm just about done because the only two things I need to do now is I formatted my tables attractively. That's in the overall. area down below. I formatted my numbers. I'm going to create a bar column chart for, it says for each table, but there's actually 3 tables, so I only need 2. So I'm going to do assets and liability. So I'm going to make sure that I select my entire table except for any totals. You don't ever include totals in your bar column chart. We've talked about that before. It throws off bars and column charts. So I'm going to click Insert. I'm going to choose I'll choose a column for this one. I'll choose the other one for the other one. All right, so as you can see, it already has an X and Y axis. I need to add labels to those, and I need to choose, I could do something fun here. I can change the way it looks if I want to. I'll choose that one. So my chart title needs to tell me what it is, so I'm going to put assets. And then I'm going to want to label each of these. So axis titles, so this one would be, this takes me a minute to, this one would be cash or money or whatever you want to put in there. And this one would be category. All right, so one table is finished. There's my assets table. I'm going to pull it up here. And then I'm going to do my liabilities table. Same thing, open cross selection. Do not include the total. And I'm going to go to insert. Last time I choose that one, so I'll choose this one. Just, you don't have to change, but just so you can see how the 2 different ones look. I'm going to put it over here. Maybe I'll put it down here. Okay, so this one, chart title would be liabilities. I would make sure I have X and Y axis labels. So this one, it's always a trick. I'm using my arrow keys, and sometimes I forget which one does what. So this is category, and this is dollars or money or whatever you want to call it. Dollars. All right, so I'll change this one to look like that just so it looks more interesting. Okay, so that's it. This project is done. Make sure you save it and then you upload it to your saved copy into Google Classroom assignment for balance sheet. And that is it for this project. And it should be done. I'm not going to right now. Thank you. So email me if you have any questions about this. Have a good day.